What action should your employer take to ensure the health and safety of its workers? List 4 actions. Safe workplace, safe machine, good facilities and training. List 3 types of attachments that can be used other than forks. Jib, carpet spike, slippers. What is the best way to determine the voltage of electrical power lines? Call the power company. What is a hazard? Anything that can cause harm. What is a risk? Chance of a hazard causing harm. Important question. You have just passed your high-risk work licence. List 2 things your employer must give you before operating their machines. Training, information. As a worker, you have a duty of care. List 2 things that may involve. Safety of yourself, safety of others. Are you allowed to add extra counterweight to the forklift? No. How can a weather forecast help you plan your day? Help plan your work site. Help you plan your work site. When driving a forklift in cold or wintry weather, list 3 possible hazards that may arise. Snow, wind, rain. List 5 things you should do if your forklift truck comes in contact with power lines. Warn others. Attempt to break contact. Do not touch metal. Report to management. Have machine checked. What is the most common load centre distance in Australia? 600 millimetres. Why is it dangerous to use an internal combustion engine in a confined or restricted area? CO gas. C little o gas. Why must batteries be charged in a well-vented area? Explosive gas. What type of forklift should be used in the area confined or restricted? Electric forklift. Why is a rear end swing dangerous when using a forklift? Swings fast and could hit people. Important question. Name 3 ways you can communicate with site personnel. Written, verbal, eye contact. When using a jib attachment, what hazard may be related to its use? Swinging load. Why must you wear a seatbelt when using a forklift? So you don't fall out. It's important to check your wheels and tyres before using the forklift. List 4 things you should check. Chunks of rubber, wheels, tyres, air pressure, tread. It's important to check the forklift before use. List 6 things you should check before you get on it. Tyres, data plate, mast, chains, fork, seat belt. It's important to check the forklift before use. List 4 things you should check once you are on the forklift. Brakes, steering, lights, horn. When driving a forklift and your view is obstructed, what are the 3 things you should do before moving? Get a spotter, check mirrors, go in reverse. Can you carry passengers in your forklift? Explain your answer. Only if it's designed to. Name 3 things you should do when stacking loads on top of each other. Level surface, heavy items on the bottom, don't stack too high. How is a forklift truck affected if the load is not placed hard against the heel or vertical face of the forks? Becomes unstable. What are 2 visual indicators that can be used to identify power lines? Tiger tails, danger signs. List 4 things that may tip your forklift sideways. Uneven surface, uneven load, turning too fast, flat tyre. List 4 things that may tip your forklift forward or backwards. Uneven surface, uneven load, braking too hard, overloaded. What are the distances and voltages you must keep your forklift away from power lines in New South Wales? Important questions. 3 metres, 132 kW, 6 metres, 132 kW, 8 metres, 330. Important question. List 3 people you may talk to about hazard before starting work. Management, other workers, safety officers. Explain why it's important to talk to these people about hazards, to minimise risks. In case of a machine failure, such as steering, brakes or hydraulics, list 2 things you would do. Stop, tag out. List 8 workplace hazards that you may need to consider before starting work on a forklift. People, trees, power lines, cars, walkways, pedestrians, weather, other machines. What are other things you should plan before moving a load to ensure safety? List 6 things other than hazards. Important questions. Blind spots, communication, types of load, attachments, PPE, equipment. Why would you not lift a load over or near people, cause an injury or death? List 3 things WHS regulator can do to a high-risk work licence holder if they do not work safely. Cancel licence, fines, retrain. List 4 places you would not park your forklift. Fire exit, walkway, doorways, in front of first aid centre or position. List 4 steps for normal parking procedure of forklift. Times on the ground. Gear in neutral. Park brake is on. Remove key. What should be placed between a truck and a loading dock before moving a load? A dock plate. Listing 2 things you should do if your forklift is tipping over sideways. Brace yourself. Stay inside. List 2 reasons why you should not lift a load with only one fork arm. Damage to the fork, tip the load. If your data plate is damaged or unreadable, list 3 things you should do. Take key out, tag out, tell boss. What direction must the fork travel when carrying a load uphill, forward? Where would you find information about the correct way to use an attachment? User manual. What is the risk of refueling a forklift while the engine is running? Explosion. What are 3 sources of workplace safety information? Very important question. Australian standards, manufacturer plans, code of practice, SWPs. What safety control measures can you use when driving a forklift in areas open to the public? List 3. Barricades, signage, spotter. List 3 safety guards on a forklift and what they do. 1. Backrest, protects mask. 2. Cage, protects the operator. 3. Foot guard, protects feet. When driving a forklift on wet and slippery surface, list 2 things you must do. Slow down, take care. When adding an attachment to your forklift, affects its lifting capacity? How does it? Reduces. Why is it unsafe to turn a forklift on a ramp or sloping surface? Give 2 reasons. Tip over, lose your load. Where can you find the rated capacity for your forklift? Data plate. Why is it important to watch your load while driving so it doesn't fall off? Why is it important to keep the air-filled tyres at the correct operating pressure to maintain stability? Why is it important you remove the key when leaving your forklift unattended? Stop unauthorised use. Why should the side shift be put back into the centre before driving with a load? Maintain stability. List 3 ways you could find out the weight of a load. Calculator, invoice, weigh it. The load you are about to lift is badly stacked or leaning. What should you do before lifting it? Restack the load. What is a safe travelling height for the fork arms when travelling loaded or unloaded? Low as possible. What must you have if you are driving a forklift at night or in a dark area? Well-littered area. What is the risk of driving a forklift with the load raised up high? Tip over. If you are given instruction when operating a forklift that you do not understand, what should you do? Stop and ask questions.